We know you love us, but the information on our podcast is provided for educational and entertainment purposes only. I understand I'm both an LPC and an LMFT. However, this is not intended as a substitute for professional services of any kind. If you or anyone you know needs professional help, please seek mental health services. This is Emma.
This is Zorric,
host of the Date podcast, and we're very excited to do another show because I have someone here sitting with us that I listen to almost religiously.
Me too. Don't
oh
forget
my gosh,
me.
I know, but egocentric.
Okay, go ahead.
Me. Okay.
Who is it?
It is Brian Howie.
Oh my gosh.
And he's here from the
here.
Great Love Debate. I'm so excited.
Hi.
I can't stop saying that.
Can I say hi?
Yes.
That's a good applause. Good crowd you have over
Big
there.
old
I know, right?
Yeah.
Oh, so yes, he is here. We're gonna talk to him on his background, and we're gonna ask him
Just
questions.
dating questions in general, because he's been out and about
He has been out and
throughout
about.
the U.S. and he knows a lot.
Yes,
about this
he
stuff.
knows the stuff, and it's funny because whenever I listen to him, I'm like, "Great, you're calling me out, but you don't know who I am because I'm just listening to you." And then I'm like, "Shame and guilt because of all the things that I shouldn't be doing that I am doing."
Shame. All right, Emma. So
Okay.
you can find us, everyone out there, on iTunes, Google Play, or Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. If you like what you hear, please subscribe and review. Hopefully leave a great, awesome review about us. And if you have any questions or concerns or topics you'd like us to talk about, please send us an email at hello@datepodcast.com. You can also find us on Instagram and Twitter at datepodcast. So, Emma, what is going on today?
Okay, there we go.
Tell us.
All right. Well, apparently this on and off couple is off again.
Ariana Grande and Pete Davidson.
No, I think she's probably going to take a little break from that for a while. She
Okay.
needs to grieve.
Is
I
that
think we said that last time.
Definitely an ended
I
relationship.
feel like it's probably this is kind of over. I think she just needs to process the grief of her, ex-boyfriend that just happened.
What is it, 10 stages or something?
It's 5 stages.
It feels like a million stages for me.
It's 5.
Okay. Anyway, so who
So
are we
it's
talking about?
Halsey and G-Eazy.
Oh, I like Halsey.
Yeah, so they apparently broke up again because, dun dun dun, they started following each other on Instagram.
Oh.
They're like, I'm done.
Social media is evil.
Yeah, it is. So I don't know. I have a few thoughts about this. What are y'all's thoughts about being a celebrity couple that you're on and off again all the time?
Well, I mean, number one, don't stalk your partner, because that just brings up anxiety, right? We've talked about this so much.
Wait, you think they're stalking each other?
Right?
I don't think that they are.
Okay, repeat that again.
I said, what are y'all's thoughts again on stopping following each other on Instagram, when you're on and off?
Yeah, don't, I would say if you're off, you're off. I
Right?
would say stop following your partner, your ex-partner.
For me, I feel like if you're on and off again, constantly, it just means that you're not ready for that relationship. And obviously, a need is not being met that allows you to want to call it off.
Yeah. But why do you keep going back to that person? That's my thing.
Well, okay, I'm going to disclose something.
What
So
did
do you
do?
remember when I didn't do anything recently, but you remember the last time that at my last wine party, I got really sad and I
You got
texted
shit-faced?
someone that I shouldn't have. And it was just, it was my little drunken brain was hey, text so-and-so. Because I think that and my friend has said something that is, I think is very true. There's something that I'm missing at a certain point in time. And when the alcohol hits, it magnifies it. And so then I'm reaching out.
So you need that. Just needed to reach out, and maybe he'd reach back out to you. And then what?
Exactly. And then what?
And then more heartbreak. You go back to him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that he still has me blocked because I asked him to block me
Okay.
on everything, and
Okay,
he
that's,
did.
That's good.
I know. I was very happy about that. But I feel that's what these two need to do. They just need to, if they're going to call it off, they're going to call it off and, It is what it is.
It is what it is. I think let bygones be bygones, move on. You guys are exes for a reason, right?
Yes.
And you guys tried and you guys failed and you're trying again and then you're failing again. So
yeah. Especially if, like, apparently, like, G-Eazy was telling everyone, and this is a quote, that he was single and that he and Halsey are always on and off, but right now, like, they're off. I mean, that just invites, like, just bad juju in the relationship. Because, like, we were on a break. Like, okay, you were on a break. For me, when you're on a break, you allow the other person to do whatever sexual things they want to do with someone else.
Why does it have to be about sex all the time with you?
It doesn't have to be about sex all the time, but I'm just saying, like, most of the time when you're on a break, you want to have revenge sex, I feel.
I don't want to have
I don't
revenge
have
sex.
revenge sex. I want to have a revenge makeout.
Yeah. Okay.
I want to have, like, a revenge makeout. Like, I want to make out with someone and be like, yeah, I'm making out with this person, but I'm not going to have sex with them.
Brian, she always talks about sex. She can't
love
stop.
sex.
But she doesn't have revenge sex.
I don't have revenge sex.
Oh. But you like to talk about revenge sex, or you don't even like to talk about it?
I don't think
You just like to say the word sex?
Yep.
Okay.
Sex is my favorite word.
Fair enough.
Thank you.
It is. Okay, so they're off.
They're off.
And maybe they'll be on again and we'll talk about
We'll
them
see
again
what
soon,
happens.
Okay, so we're here to talk to Brian.
Yes.
How's it going?
How are you guys?
Good.
Good.
All the way from LA.
Yeah, that's
Right?
cool. That's a good little setup you guys have here.
Oh,
Thank you.
Podcasting and wine, that's a thing.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
That's a good thing.
We drink too much sometimes, and you can hear.
I've done some morning podcasts where they just have like a full bar, like 9 a.m.
Nice.
Yeah.
Like a mimosa bar.
Yeah, like like a vodka bar. Like people
my
really do
gosh.
drink to do their podcasts.
Wow.
A
Oh
lot.
my gosh.
Wow.
Yeah.
We don't drink to make ours. We just drink to make ours.
You would be drinking
Funnier.
anyway, and you happen to be doing a podcast. Is that what it is?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Why not? It just makes sense.
Wine not.
Why not? So LA, you were born and raised there, or
New York.
New York.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a New Yorker, but I've been in LA long enough now that I used to say, well, I'm from New York, but I live in LA now. And now I'm just like, I'm from LA. And that feels bad as a New Yorker. I feel like I caved to the weather.
Like you betrayed.
Sort of.
Yeah.
Like a couple years ago, I'm like, I'm not going back to New York. I'm staying here. So I need to just forget about New
'Cause
York.
What, like nice weather year round, basically?
Yeah, every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like every day. It is quite a seductive muse, the
Yes.
weather. Yeah.
The Hispanic part of me would like to move there for the constant heat because I hate being cold. However,
But it's really hot here.
yes, but like we get winters here now. Sometimes I get a break from like allergies and stuff and mosquitoes.
There's snakes here. There are.
Yeah, I don't know where they are though.
Oh, they're around.
They're everywhere.
There's like rattlesnakes here.
Yeah, that's true. I did see one once, like slithering. It was really big, and I was on the phone with someone, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, there's a snake in the middle of the road!" But I was also like in the country, so.
Yeah. Lots of snakes, lots of armadillos.
Mm-hmm.
Dallas is okay though. Dallas is on my list of places that I don't know if I would live in Dallas, but I could live in Dallas.
Huh.
Yeah.
I will accept that honor.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
could live here. I'd rather live in Dallas than New York.
Yeah, I would too.
Lots of people are coming here too, Brian.
A lot of people are going to Austin.
Austin too. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people.
A lot of
They
people.
can
There's
go
there's
to
three
Austin,
places
yeah.
that people are leaving LA for, and they're not
Ooh.
coming back. Portland, which makes no sense
It
to
makes
me.
no sense at all whatsoever.
There's no taxes here.
Yeah. For sure.
Austin, Portland, and Nashville.
Oh,
So those three places that people are like, I just don't need to be in LA anymore, and I'm going to go to one of those three, and that's where they're going.
huh.
So why did you move to LA then?
Showbiz stuff. You know, you go back and forth for a while, and you think you're never going to leave New York, and then one day you get off the plane in January and it's 82 degrees, and you're like, oh, I get it. I remember my agent at the time was originally from New York, and I would go out and I would meet with him, and he'd be like, you know, you're eventually going to move here, and I'm like, never. I'll never move here. And then like 3 months later, I'm like looking for a place. Yeah. Yeah.
So what do you do? Like acting or producing?
No, I've been a writer, director, producer for, I don't know, 20 years.
Uh-huh.
A lot of theater, television, live events, and then I sort of fell into being quote unquote the talent, like only in the last like 5 years.
Huh, you are a talent though, because we
Now,
listen to
yeah,
you a
but
lot.
I didn't think I always liked sort of having the idea and being able to filter it through other people or a scenario or a narrative in some way because I didn't feel confident, like, this is what I think and these are my words. So I would, like, rather than say something, I would, like, write a 120-page screenplay to try and say what I was going to say just because I didn't have the confidence. And then about 5 years ago, I had a break in what I was doing, and I wrote a semi-tongue-in-cheek book called How to Find Love in 60 Seconds. That it was sort of a women need to take charge of their own dating fates, and it was sort of about, I dealt with a lot of actresses, and they were always whining. They had trouble with guys, and so I wrote this book, and then rather than doing like a traditional book tour with me and, I don't know, 20 people in a Barnes & Noble, my manager at the time said, why don't you raise some of the questions that the book raises in like a theater, in like a town hall style setting. So we did one of these, and we called it The Great Love Debate, and then we did another, and then another, and now we're up to 347 in 5 years, and podcasts and TV stuff and all kinds of stuff. So it literally was supposed to be like a one-off thing, and then it kept going.
That's great. I appreciate the questions that you bring up, though, because I think that you are very right that as a woman, I can say it, right? I agree that we don't always like take action into our hands when it comes to dating. Like, I know for a fact I'm very passive.
Well, yeah, but I always say since Eve tempted Adam, the women have always really been in charge. They always had the power. Now, they didn't either want the power or know how to use the power, but the men always would sort of jump as high as you wanted us to get the fruit if you did it. And women, that so freaks women out to even hear that they're like, no, because first they don't like it, they don't want it, they shouldn't have to train the guys, blah, blah, blah. But if you gave the men like a clear, positive roadmap to your happiness, every guy would take that road. It's just you don't really know what that road is yourself.
No,
right.
I don't know what that road is. One day I think it's one thing, and then another day I think it's another thing. Like, one days I wake up and I'm like, I want to date with somebody that like speaks Spanish so that we can have conversations in Spanish. And then I'm like, no, that's lame. What's wrong with me for thinking that? Like,
yeah, women are really clear on what they don't want. They're not nearly as clear on what they do want. And so the guys are like, let us know when you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you guys don't even communicate that if you guys know. Either way.
Yeah, they're like, figure it out. He could tell. We can't fucking tell.
I hate that.
He could tell. He can't tell.
No. We're so dumb. We're like,
so
me.
Yeah.
Yes,
So anyway, my job,
that.
I always thought when we started Great Love Debate was to raise the questions. But because we've raised the questions so many times in so many places in front of close to 100,000 people live, we do have a lot of the answers. And that's a little bit harder to do it now because I do kind of know. It was a little easier when you're just sort of blank slate curious, but we've been doing it a long time, so we have the answers now.
That you can kind of call it. So you can
I kind of can drive the narrative the way I want to drive it in that city because I just know. Like, you know, I've been to Dallas 15 times. I'm probably a better expert on Dallas dating than anybody who lives in Dallas.
I bet you. So
I agree.
What are these questions that you ask or you pose to the? Because if you guys haven't been on Brian's podcast, he has live shows on his podcast, and it's great. And there's like a lot of laughter, there's a lot of energy. It's funny. I'm laughing when I'm listening. But like, how do you get that information or the questions? Does it come from listeners?
Well, we kind of know how to poke the stick and ask and study and. You know, I ask, the first question I ask at any show, no matter where we go, is the biggest challenge with love, dating, relationships in 2018 in Dallas, Texas is what? And make the crowd give me that. Give me what they think. And then we react to that.
Okay.
So our job is to pull information, complaints, questions, frustrations out of the crowd, get this information, and then figure out how we can solve it. You know, I think that we know of 48 couples have gotten engaged just from meeting at one of our shows.
Wow.
Like just from meeting it, because we break the walls down over like 90 minutes because we kind of know how to, you know, whack the piñata.
Yes, you also allow people to do role plays in your show. So I think that's helpful because it does break down that wall of like...
Yeah, life is improv. Like, you know, people are so not used to interacting face to face now. It's so strange to go up to talk to somebody now versus have some technological barrier between you that we sort of make people, the very act of getting people to congregate and communicate goes a long, long way.
Yeah, I think that's brilliant the way you guys start the show, because that's like live market research.
Yeah.
Because you're already giving the audience, or you can take that information and give the audience later what they want to hear.
There is a sense of camaraderie. The reason why the men and the women, you know, you get a couple hundred people in the room and then they realize I'm not the only one that feels this way, or I'm not the only one frustrated, or it's not so easy for the men or the women. That goes a long, long way into making people, you know, people go there and they think, well, nobody's like me. And they leave thinking, oh my God, everybody's like me. And they feel a lot better.
The struggle is real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The tone of the show has changed a lot. When we first started, I was a little bit too much Jerry Springer. Like, I really wanted to fuck with it. I really wanted people to just fight and men against the women and all that. And then I realized, like, people would wake up the next day and be like, I wish I didn't go to that. That was terrible.
Yeah.
And so it got a lot more hopeful after doing it for a while. Well, for a while. It took like a year and a half for the tone to get better.
So it was like Battle of the Sexes, basically.
Yeah, that amused me, but people would be like it was,
you get, like,
it was
emails or
really
letters?
angry. Like the third show we ever did, this woman stands up and she says, "What do you do if you go out with a guy and he says he's going to call you and he doesn't call you?" And we're like, "Yeah, that happens." So, and she goes, "Well, what do you do if that guy's here tonight?" And the women were like, "Show your face." And they turned on him. Like 100 women started chanting, like, "Where are you?" And this guy stands up in the back, and they were like, "Liar!" Like, he represented like every miserable bastard they'd ever dated, and they just went. And I was like, "This is funny," but people were like, "This is a nightmare." Like, people were so mad that I'm like, "We can't have that anymore."
Oh my goodness.
Is that recorded by any chance?
Bravo shot it. That Bravo actually shot that one. I don't know. They were shooting it for a show. I don't know, Friends and Lovers. Do you remember that show? It was like 5 years ago, because we had one of their cast members on the stage. But so yeah, the footage exists. I don't know if it's air. I didn't see that show, so maybe. I don't know.
Andy Cohen, if you're listening, can you send that?
Yeah, can you? I gotta track down that footage. But the guy was like, he just didn't know what to say. Like, he wasn't a bad guy, but the women turned on this guy, and so no guy after that had any shot.
Right.
They were just so mad, and that's why, you know, it has gotten much, much harder to do the shows this year than at any other point because of the Me Too stuff. Because the guys were already, I don't know what you want us to do. I don't want to approach you because I might get rejected.
Yes.
Now the guys are like, I might get rejected. I might get fired. I might be called a pervert. I might be And these guys are out. The guys are checked out. They're like, give me the virtual porn now.
Yeah, that boundary is very, like, it's non-existent right now, because I think that even, like, in the Me Too movement, like, we don't even know what that boundary is either. I don't think it's clear.
Well, it's not even women against men. It's women against women. Half the women that we go to certain cities like New York, they have been itching for this fight for 20 years, and let's blow the whole system up, and they're probably right on some level. And half the women are like, shut the fuck up, you're going to scare off the rest of the guys. And so the sort of girl-on-girl crime that we run into at these shows is a whole different dynamic that we never had to deal with before.
So you've seen that. So that's
shows. It got really hard to do the show right after the 2016 election.
I bet.
Was bad, and then it got a little bit better, and then the Harvey Weinstein stuff happened.
Yeah.
And it got bad, and then it started to get better, and then the Judge Kavanaugh stuff. So we can literally tell the tone, and certain cities where we go, you know, Seattle, they used to be sad, and now they're mad and sad. And that's a rough combination.
But in a sense, I think the women are telling the men what to do.
No, they're telling the men what not to do.
Okay, what not to do.
And the men want to hear, okay, what should I do? And the women really aren't clear on that. They're just not. And it is a challenge. Until that happens, that is the biggest thing that we have to get over now. Until the men really are clear. And because you're all different, it's tough. So it's the burden, and the women are like, I shouldn't have to say anything. He should just tell. All he knows is what the last girl liked. And you probably find that out too late. Like, As long as you are clear on what you need, want, desire, and have a way to positively communicate that in like a fun way, he will do whatever. But we're not getting that information as guys, and it's a challenge.
No, we're not.
We're not.
You're gonna say something, Emma.
I know that you. I know that you don't like revenge sex, but I'm not clear on what you do like.
I like revenge makeout.
Okay, that's clear. Make me angry, kiss me.
Yes.
There you go.
I had a friend. No, I really do, you guys. In high school, I had a friend, and he loved it whenever I fought with the guy that I was dating because he knew that, like, if we fought and we, like, went on a break, because it was a bad relationship, I would call him up and be like, hey, do you want to make out? Do you want to make out? And he'd be like, yes, I will come pick you up. All right. So he knew.
He would just circle your orbit waiting for you to go to breakout?
Yeah.
Because he knew it was bound to happen at least like every other weekend. Yeah, it was a bad relationship, but I stayed for a while.
Gotcha.
That's my pattern so far.
So, Brian, talk to us about Dallas dating. Because you see it from, a third-party view. I mean, we're here in Dallas, so we can't tell the differences between Dallas and other cities.
Well, we named the women of Dallas last year as America's most dateable group of women in America.
Okay, yeah.
The best. America's best.
Explain.
Yes.
Yeah, they are big personality, big enthusiasm, big attitude, big hair, everything you want. It is everything you could want as a guy. They are the shiniest lures in America. The women of Dallas.
It's true. The bigger the hair, the closer to God.
Right, and they're fun about it, and they're ballsy. We name them best. Yet we named Dallas the 7th worst city to date. So if the women are the best, and the dating is terrible, I mean, I hate to put it on the dudes here, but there is a lot of all hat, no cattle going on here. There is a lot of guys who either talk a big game or think a big game, and they are pussies.
Gosh.
Or they hide behind the faith. There's a lot of that. There's a do not come near me, you dirty temptress, and make me sin. But secretly, they have a whole thing. Yeah. It's a weird communication where the women are just, here's what I am, here's what I like, here's what I believe. The women could not be more clear and forthright and communicative here. Right. And the men here, either they don't know what to do with that information or they're intimidated by it. Yeah. And I'm like, guys, if you think it's hard here, go to San Francisco or Boston or New York. You would have no shot there.
So, fun fact. I may have spoken about this before. I don't know. So in grad school, I was doing therapy to become a sex therapist. It didn't work out just because of what I've been doing in the meantime, which is working with kids, and really sex therapy is mostly with adults. And so anyway, and this one of the trainings that we did, I had this huge revelation in the middle of training that I said, you know what? I said, I feel like I need to become a sex therapist for the Christian community. And the guy, Dog Ron Harvey, who was teaching the training, he walked me through it, and he's like, if you're passionate about this, do it. And I was like, I am. I said, because I'm kind of tired about the fact that in the Christian community, we only think that sex is for procreation. And I think that's I'm going to take it back. I'm so sorry. I don't think that's just in the Christian community. I think it's also in all religious faiths where
no.
You don't think so?
No, I know it's not. Okay. We have done gay shows, and we have done black shows, and we have done Hispanic and Asian and college and Jewish and Christian. We've done all these sort of denominations in their own different show. The Christian ones were the ones we had to stop doing because the Christian women were like, I just want a good guy, and I think a Christian guy might be a good guy. We have something in common. Yeah. The Christian men were sort of looking for this sort of Madonna whore sort of balance thing, and it's real strange. The Jewish people have sex. That has nothing to do with their religion. Nothing. The Christians are like, I want to do it. If we do it, it's your fault, not mine. And it becomes a whole thing. We stopped doing the shows. Christian Mingle sponsored a little mini tour for us to do it. I'm like, I can't do this anymore. There's too much bullshit going on here.
That's interesting.
So how much sex do you guys talk about in this show?
Not nearly as much as you would think, because once you go down that hole, so to speak, it's tough to get out of it. I went down that hole the other night at a show in New York. And I we asked the question, give us something that either you're into that's a little freaky or something that you've run into on a date that they wanted that's a little freaky. There was a lot of choking, I'll tell you that. And it just went off the rails.
Oh
it is tough. So I try and stay away from the sexes because it's too personal and varied. And we're selling love here and we're selling hope.
Right.
And most time we're just trying to get people to communicate.
Right.
And the sex thing is separate. It comes up once in a while, but I do a pretty good job of staying out of it. You know, our podcast, I don't bring up sex that much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, like Zorric said, I like talking about sex.
Yeah, you could do a whole show about it, but the crowds, it's all over the map.
Yeah.
I made a joke. I got sort of burned by it. I made a joke. We did a show in Indianapolis, which was a little Bible belty. And I said, well, it's not like anybody's a virgin here. And a woman sent me an email the next day like, speak for yourself, Hollywood guy. We're very good. And I was like, I can't even bring it up.
Well, you're going to piss somebody off no matter what.
Yeah.
It seems like now.
Yeah, and my...
I'm surprised we haven't gotten, like, more angry emails.
My producer, Keiko, who produces my podcast, she's very smart.
I like her.
Yeah, everybody likes her. She's very reasonable. And she said to me, she goes, you're going to piss off, or there's a certain percentage of your audience that you're just not going to reach. Do not waste your energy trying to get everybody on.
Right.
Like, focus on the ones who are at least close or open to the message.
For sure.
That was the best piece of advice I ever got.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I would waste the rest of the audience's, you have 200 people there and you'd be arguing with 4.
Yes. Okay. That reminds me of, so I like talking about shows that I watch, for references. And so this one reminds me of Parks and Rec when Leslie Knope is running for for office. And there's this one guy that doesn't like her. And so she creates this whole bullying event just so that she can talk to this guy to get his vote. So she wasted this whole time on this one guy when she could have been reaching out others.
Yeah, it's it's hard to
please the one person.
It's hard to let that one go.
Yes.
When you got that, I know it took a while for me to come around it, but that was the best piece of advice I ever got.
Yeah. So talk more about Dallas. What else?
Well, I mean, Dallas has all the elements. You have good enough weather, but it's not great weather. So it's good enough. So there's enough.
It's not great weather tomorrow.
Energy and fun and time. Los Angeles, the weather's too good. So it's why would I want to date? I can just go outside and it's awesome. You know? People do move here from a lot of different places all the time. There's new people coming here. The places where the men and the women do things together are always better for dating. The middle of the country's like that. Chicago, Minneapolis, Milwaukee. The men and the women will go out as a group at 5 o'clock at night. They'll go out at a happy hour. At 8 o'clock, they'll watch a game. They'll do whatever. Most of the places in the South, the men will be on one side and the women will be on the other. And then somebody 11:30 will get drunk enough to cross the river and go over there. That's still a thing in Atlanta and Charlotte and Nashville and Dallas and all these kind of places where there's still this you're the girls, I'm the guys thing. And it's strange.
Did you feel that way at my wine party this past weekend, Zorric?
Yeah, she has wine parties all the time.
I do.
Well, wine parties seem a little more sophisticated.
I'm very sophisticated.
The craft breweries have fucked dating in a lot of. Can I say fucked? I've said it 6 times.
You can say whatever you want.
In a lot of places like Portland and Denver and where they have the craft breweries all over the place.
Mm-hmm. We have some here too.
Yeah, the girls don't want to go there. They want to drink wine.
I do.
You'd rather drink wine.
I would rather drink wine, yes.
Because if the guys are just sitting around talking about beer and fantasy football to each other, then it's too hard for you. Make them come into your world.
So what you're saying is, I want to make sure I'm hearing this correctly. Is that my next wine night, I only need to invite guys to my wine night.
Yeah, it should just be you and 12 guys.
I love that idea so much.
It's numbers game.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen now.
I think you're.
Will you be my wing?
Well, that's another thing. I hear a lot in Dallas where, especially the women over 35.
I'm not there yet.
You're not there yet, but when you've heard it that they're it's 5-1, 6-1, 7-1 women to men here. It's not. It's an illusion. It's because after 35, the women will still go out together in big groups and drink wine and complain how there's no good men. And the men won't do that anymore. So the men, especially in Dallas, they'll drop out or they'll do stuff during the day or they'll do stuff together. So it always looks that way. And so it's frustrating for the women.
Well, Brian, we have singles meetups here in Dallas once a month. And it is like that.
Yeah.
It's like
I do. I tend
6 to 1.
Yeah, I tend to go towards the women more.
Because the women come together and the men come alone.
Yeah, and we force them to talk. And some of these men can't talk.
I get it. I know. Because if you could talk, I hate to say this because I belong to a lot of meetup groups, you wouldn't need the meetup group.
Right.
Definitely.
You know, and so it is a challenge. Like if you could talk as a guy, you could just roll down to Bed Bath and Beyond and chat up a bunch of women.
Or Target too.
Or Target. Or Whole Foods.
Yeah. So, Master Brian Howie, please tell me what I need to do for myself in order to be successful in dating.
Well, you also can't hang out with a bunch of guys because it's tough to break that wall of dudes.
I went from like hanging out with mostly guys to having like now I have a good group of like girlfriends mostly. Like I want to build my guy group again.
You can't go out with a group of 5 girls either.
No, I don't.
So you need to have like 5 people.
Okay.
Like 3 girls, 2 guys, and that's who you roll with.
Got it.
You need to have that.
I got my posse then.
Because some women go out with like 7, and I'm like, we can't.
No.
And 2's bad too.
What are your thoughts about going out alone, man or female, at the bar?
I think it's fine and easy for the guy. It's hard. It's hard for a girl.
Because Emma,
and don't go out as a 2. If you go out as a 2, like you're not leaving your friend.
Yeah.
No, that's true.
You need to go out as a 3.
I live by the American Airlines Center, so there are times when like I have walked to the happiest hour by myself just to go have a drink and then I go back to my apartment. But I obviously like nothing happens.
Well, like, will you go just sit at the bar and have a drink? Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
Because there's enough people around there.
Right. But I don't talk to anybody, so I'm just like staring at my phone then.
You know, I travel a lot and, you know, I stay in these, you know, Marriott's or whatever, and you see the hotel bar and you'll see some woman there like having her meal and drinking a glass of wine. And I'm like, does she want somebody to talk to her? Is she like, there's no way for the guy to know.
Right.
Is she just like, I just relaxing here? And I'm like, what do you do if she probably doesn't want to sit in her room. It's hard as a woman because the guy, if you do want to be talked to, he has no idea that you want to talk to him.
Yeah.
And he just assumes I'm going to bother her.
Should I just like wear like a neon sign that says, yes, you can talk to me?
It would be a lot easier if we had. You ever go to one of those Brazilian barbecue places?
Yeah.
Where they have the chip and it's like green or red?
Yeah.
I mean, if we had like a cab light, like I am able to be talked to, that is partially why, you know, a lot of married people do come to the Great Love Debate, but most of the people there, if you go there, you know that they're single. That
like
helps.
Zorric and meet him.
Yeah, it helps. I mean, it helps a lot because people are like, you're in this room. I'm not going to talk to you and you're going to say, sorry, I have a boyfriend, like you would anywhere else. That is a big part of it.
So I have a question about this. So like, I have not had that experience yet where it's like, if a guy comes up to me and it's like, oh my gosh, I have a boyfriend, you know, but
can you be talked to by a strange guy?
Yes, I think so. Even if you have a boyfriend, I don't understand like why women feel like they have to say that. Do you know why?
Why women say what?
Like, I have a boyfriend if a guy on it like starts talking to them.
Well, because she probably can see the intent right away. Like,
you think that the only reason we're talking to you is to have sex with you?
No.
I know, but that's generally the thought process. Okay. If he talks to me, he's hitting on me.
Got it.
That's why before online dating, the number 2 way that people used to meet.
Grocery store.
No. Church.
Oh.
And the reason for it wasn't about praying together or anything like that. It was about A, congregating, and B, I could talk to you at church, after church, about anything, and you wouldn't think, well, we're at church. He's not hitting on me here. And it was almost like a safe place for men and women to talk to each other. Anywhere else, if I went up to you at Whole Foods and I was like, can I barbecue this? You would think I'm hitting on you. And that's the thing, which is we probably are if we're talking to you, but there's that, you know, like, what is his intent? What does he mean? A lot of women wear the fake engagement rings just to go out so they don't get bothered. But you're kind of people.
Thank you.
Do.
I like to think that I am sometimes.
Yeah. So what do you? So you mentioned online dating. Emma is on. She's off. She's on. She's off.
I've been consistently on lately, though.
On what?
I'm on Bumble and Hinge.
Okay. What's your opening line on Bumble?
I think it's just, hold on.
Is
oh
it
my
just
gosh.
hi?
I can't believe I'm about to like say this.
If your opening line is just hi,
It's
like
not.
then you're just as bad as him.
It's really lame, but I'm okay with it. So so it says, my about me is, my friends would describe me as funny, thoughtful, kind, and loving. I know I'm funny and can hold a conversation solely quoting The Office.
There's a lot of people who want to be Pam and Jim. There's a lot.
I don't want
I
to
see
be
that
Pam
all
and
the
Jim.
time. Looking for that Jim.
I know.
just wanna
So
find my Ron
okay. So what
Swanson.
is your because you have to be opening line on Bumble. So what is your opening? What do you say?
I don't
Hi?
have an, yeah. Uh-huh.
How was your day?
Hey, or sometimes so if they have like a career, like if they have something that I can like quote on, like I think one of the last conversations I had was something about like, ooh, like, oh, so you like cold brew coffee, like what's like been your
So
favorite one?
so you have to if you just say like hey or hi or how was your day on Bumble, all that is you sticking your foot in the door
Yes.
so you don't run the clock out.
Yeah.
He's not doing anything with that.
I know.
Don't do
I'm
that.
really
That's
bad
as bad
about
as him.
That, though.
I know. That's bad.
But
Oh.
we did an episode about GIFs. What are your thoughts about GIFs?
Oh yeah.
The opening
Hey
GIF
Kaylee, this is
on
gonna be for
Bumble
you, girl.
For a female.
One of my good friends.
Can you
Kaylee,
do that?
Yeah.
You can do that.
She sends up bear gifs like waving hi.
You can do that on Bumble?
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
But they said statistically it like increases.
I think it's an age thing.
Yeah.
Well, last time we were in Dallas, some guy at the show had his entire profile was like 45 different emojis. And it was too much, but a couple girls were like, I love that. And so that's the right one for him.
Okay. Master Brian Howie, what are your thoughts about me not even sending emojis when I'm like first talking to a guy for the first few like weeks or
Not
days?
sending?
No, I don't send emojis.
Why not?
Because a book told me not to.
Which book was this?
Well, who told you not to? What book was this?
I can't remember what book it was.
Burn it. That's crazy. You should do whatever your personality is. Why would you hold back? Like,
because I tend to send like 5 text messages at a time.
So?
You can attest to that.
Yeah, I think we had a debate about this. Like emojis kind of give emotion, and that's why I like them
Good.
sometimes.
like there's no benefit of you withholding how you feel to him.
Okay.
That's a myth. That's
Okay.
some bad advice that girls give other girls.
Yeah, this was a girl written book too.
Yeah. All bad advice books are written by women.
Okay.
They are.
Period.
They are. Period. You're not old enough to remember that book, The Rules.
No.
That's set dating back like 20 years.
I did read He's Just Not That Into You.
Yeah, he's a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
Mm-hmm.
It was a
good.
good book. Yeah.
That was a good book. I
Yeah.
liked it.
He's out. He's coming around. He's out on tour.
He's my Bible.
Yeah. A guy wrote that.
Yeah.
Guys understand the way women always like, you don't know, you're not a woman. I go, I've asked more women questions than you ever have as a woman.
It's
Don't give me the
true,
answer.
though.
Women only know what they know.
Yes.
Women don't understand women any better.
No.
Right. You probably understand men better than a lot of men because men are not that curious about the way men are.
No.
But this whole like you couldn't possibly understand because you're not a woman. I'm like, you couldn't probably just possibly understand because you don't talk to any women. You just think you know.
Yeah.
That's a big thing now.
I'm a big
I get hit with a
proponent, yeah.
mansplaining card every day.
So Emma, do you know everything now? Is that
Well, I mean,
what other?
Brian Howie is here, so he's teaching me everything about it.
You will learn more if you come to our show in 90 minutes than you will in any book.
Oh, I believe you.
Because most
100%.
of the stuff that we have learned has come from, we always say this is the biggest social experiment ever undertaken, but we've had, 92,000 people give us feedback. That is
Right.
more than, every year Match.com puts out their little 1,500 person
Yeah.
blind survey. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. We have the answers.
Yes, I mean, you guys do. So, I think one of my favorite things that you put out there, which I'm still waiting for it to happen, men at Starbucks, is for somebody to come up to me and ask me if they should get a cake pop.
Yeah.
That
Should I get a
was
cake
my
pop?
favorite one.
Yeah.
I died laughing in the car.
What
in
if
the
you
middle
hate
of
cake
traffic.
pops?
I love cake
Then I
pops.
wouldn't date that person anyway.
Why would you hate a cake
If somebody
pop?
hates a cake pop, you're not going to date them. I always say, no matter where we go, it comes down to this. The women want the men to try harder, and the men want the women to make it easier. And that is the standoff.
I am willing to make
Everywhere.
it easy if someone is ready to reach out.
We went to Shanghai a couple years ago,
Uh-huh.
and you see men and women on dates everywhere. You see a guy and a girl everywhere.
Wait, I have a dumb question. Is Shanghai in China?
It's in China.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you go to a Starbucks and you'll see, it looks like the 1950s, like a diner, like they're sharing a drink.
They have a umbrella market there.
I don't know what they have, but the reason is they have no Facebook, they have no Tinder, and they have no porn.
I love it. Well,
So if you want to see some boobies, you actually have to earn them. And so the guys are working hard.
No, so the umbrella market thing is that they actually have an umbrella market where like moms go and write down like dating profiles for their kids on these umbrellas, and they have them out, and they try to set up their kids on
maybe
dates
those are the dates.
They do.
I guess,
maybe
that's
I need to tell my mom to write my date
Shanghai.
profile and put it somewhere in Dallas.
Where do you stand on the dick pics?
I don't like them. I don't want them.
Then what do you want?
What kind of picture, Emma?
I would like I'm okay with like your face. Just don't send me your penis. It's not beautiful.
No, I agree with you. But here's what comes up in the show a lot. I bring this up. The number one challenge of online dating is that the men are sending 36 times more unresponded to messages than the women are. 36 times.
I agree with that.
So if a guy sends a dick pic to 100 women, 4 might respond. If a guy sends a poem to 100 women, 4 might respond. If the guy says anything to 100 women, 4 might. So if the odds are the same,
right?
He's like, fuck it, I'll just send that and see what happens. And so because nothing really is working, the guy's like, I'm just gonna do the try and get her attention.
So that was my question for you.
But like, how does a penis though? Like, why the penis?
Because he's not exposing anything about his personality, his heart, or whatever. He's just like, if she likes this, I can work with this. A woman in LA is like, send me the penis and send me the FICO score, and then we'll talk.
You can send me your FICO score, but I don't know about the penis.
Right, but some women, and I'm not telling guys to do it. I'm just saying, I'm explaining it, that nothing is working any better than that. So it's really like a numbers game. So if these guys are like sending you a nice, hey, how are you, whatever, and you're not answering that anyway, and women really aren't answering that anyway. So I asked that at the show. I go, give me something that every guy who sent it to, you're at least going to answer him. The women got nothing. They get nothing.
Send me a picture of her face. Or like,
but not every woman, you're not going to answer every face.
Right, that's true.
Well, what should we say?
But I'm not going to answer every penis either.
Right, but it's the same.
Okay, I don't understand why I'm arguing.
So he's like, fuck it. Right. So if there was something, so I asked the women, I give a handful of suggestions. I go, what should they do? And all they say is what he shouldn't do. And this has been the problem in the last, 12 months particularly, is it is all about, we hate that, don't do that. And a big chunk of the guys are dry. They're like, I'm out. Give me the video porn.
I think one of the favorite things that I do like guys with, and maybe this is something that I'm open, like, I don't know, like a guy with a tie, like wearing his tie to like work or out.
But that's a picture.
Yeah.
So give me something he can say to you.
Oh, something to say to me. Oh.
Like his opening line that you're going to answer. It's not that easy.
So
no,
Brian,
it's not.
What should we say as a single man? And I'm sending out messages. Like, what should we say? What should I say?
What's your favorite condiment?
That is kind of funny.
What is it?
Like, I can just pick from anyone? Because right now, ketchup's the only one that's coming to my mind.
Ketchup. Okay. See, I think then you probably eat some fried food.
I do love
and
fried
we'll
food.
be fine.
Okay.
See, I can work with that.
And ranch.
I think you're not. And ranch. I imagine us dipping shit into there. Some
like
sort of like
pickles?
benign question that she like, or if you just said like, what kind of ice cream should I have?
Ooh, yeah, mint chocolate chip.
Yeah, done. And we're talking.
Okay.
Okay? That's not offensive. Like, you'll probably answer that of anybody. Things like that are, she definitely has an answer. It's not too personal. Like, most women agree, like, a lot of women are like, I want him to say something funny. Well,
no.
You don't know what, and
It's
funny's
funny.
different. If I just said knock knock, you gonna go with it?
Who's there?
Are you gonna go with it? Probably, right?
Yeah,
But some women are like, no. No.
I feel like we have to be like Steve Carell or like, the funniest man on the world.
You could, but not every woman even has that kind of humor.
No,
I
not
said you
everybody
should.
likes The Office.
Like some people want some really dark, twisted shit.
Yeah, I feel like if you have that sarcasm, what did they say? Like, my second language is sarcasm, or I'm looking for
Yes.
I feel like if you want us to dish it out, you need to be able to dish it back to us. Like, you got to be funny, too.
Some women only want lines from Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
I both love and hate that show.
I know, but some women only speak that.
That's my freaking sister, but she has a boyfriend, so it's fine.
Jailhouse weapon of choice. A lock and a sock or a shiv?
Oh,
A shiv.
That's what all the women say. You guys are so. You just want to get it done. Yeah.
Stab you.
Yeah. A lot of women like a weird, dark question like that. 'Cause you guys are fucking twisted. But if the guy's just like, "Hi, how are you? You have really pretty."
like that.
Can he compliment you?
Yes, I like being I like compliments.
But
What kind of compliment?
I
just had to tell you, I
pretty.
think your face is exquisite.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're gonna go with that?
Yeah.
Most women are like, no.
I think so,
you
too.
just made me blush a little too.
I get an unmatch after that line usually.
Yeah.
If I
We
comment on
can't
the
even
face-
tell you you're pretty.
How dare you women out there?
I know.
it's
We
worth-
can't
yeah.
walk up to you like we used to be
Yeah.
in the 50s, 60s, 70s. I'm not that old. But I say,
You're
oh my God,
20.
I noticed that I saw you through the window. I had to tell you, I think you're absolutely beautiful. Women are like, I don't ever want to hear that. That's
like-
insane
No,
to me.
words of affirmation is totally my love language. Like, it's words of affirmation, physical touch, and gifts.
Most men's words of affirmation is,
Yeah.
and we don't get it. We
I
don't
li-
get any words of affirmation.
Well, so here's the thing: is that like do I ever tell you you're pretty, Zorric, or beautiful, or handsome?
No.
no,
Oh, never mind.
I don't
Of
think I've
course
been
not.
told 5
so
times in my
sorry.
life.
Oh,
We-
you guys are so handsome.
but we
and
never hear it.
beautiful.
No.
We don't hear it.
Well, I'm giving it to you now.
I know. I will cling to that. But we tell you that, and you're either like, no fucking shit, or get away from me, pervert.
Oh.
So it's hard. Like, we can't
is
compliment
hard.
you anymore.
Well, and it's like, I also think that like if we look back at like kind of, patterns that we've had in the past, and if you look at like multi-generational patterns, I think it's gone to where you could say like a man was handsome. You can't say that anymore because, of whatever like taboo opinion you have about it.
I think you can.
I feel like you can't. I'm a big proponent about telling everyone that they're beautiful. I like telling people that they're pretty.
Yeah, and you know how Brian's talking about how rough it is for us out there, for us men. It is.
Yes.
Like, I send out 100 messages.
It is.
Like, every time I'm on Emma's Bumble profile, Brian, she's matching. Match.
No,
when
I'm
swiping
not.
For me, it's like no matches.
Right. So we used to play that game in the show once in a while. I'd have a woman
We do
take
that,
out
yeah.
her phone,
Uh-huh.
and I'm going to guess, I'm like, you're going to get 8 out of 10. Like, we're just going to match. And maybe 2 didn't even see her yet. Like, you know that you're going to get matched. He's not. So if he does get a match, he's like, oh my God, I'm excited.
Mm-hmm.
And then he says something and you don't respond, either because you're not interested or it wasn't funny or you're busy or you got 100 guys going on. And so the guys are like, I'm out.
Yeah.
A lot of guys are dropped out in the last year. They're like, I'm not doing it. I'm just going to watch porn.
That's
Play
it.
video
I
games
am okay watching porn with someone.
with someone. You got to find the someone.
Yeah.
He doesn't need the someone
Right.
because he's like, if I have the someone, I don't need the porn.
Right.
And he's like, I'm not finding the
Well,
someone.
I guess maybe I should change my statement a little bit. Like, I'm not opposed to people watching porn. I don't care. Like,
but
it's not
the
hurting me.
culture now that people like the men like, because
As long as
I
it's
hear this
like-
from
as long as it's like over like your legal consent. we're
we've
good.
done married shows, and the husbands are all playing video games all day long because they're like, I can win at this. I feel good at this. I'm failing at my parenting and my marriage or
Yeah.
whatever. And so now that the combination of sort of porn and video is coming together, a lot of guys find that a lot more appealing than dating.
So that goes into our next question, Brian. So what are some dating trends? So are people giving up and just going
Yeah.
for that porn?
The last year has taken it's chopped like 15% off both sides of it. The women dropped out and the
Wow.
men dropped out. The kid who is we had Dr. Drew do our show. You know who Dr. Drew is?
Oh yeah.
He did our show. I
Line?
did Love Line.
Oh,
with
you
him.
did?
Yeah.
Wow.
And he says, and he's right, that
That's why he is Master Brian Howie.
the
you guys.
14-year-old kid, by the time he gets to high school, that sort of virtual porn, somebody who looks just like Emma is going to tell him he's going to put on a helmet. You're going to talk to him. You're going to give him a reasonably satisfying experience. That guy's never going to ask a girl out, ever. The 14-year-old guy now is just not going to care. He's going to be satisfied. That's why 22-year-olds now, they don't really drink as much either. They can get their stimulation other ways. That's the coming storm.
Huh.
And so...
Which I've said before, I'm wondering how technology is going to affect their brains because, like it was, and I talk about the prefrontal cortex all the time because it's true. It's not fully developed when you're 25. So I'm curious to see like when that will occur now with all of this technology and with all these trends happening.
It's not, they can be satisfied. And so if you say like, well, it's not as good, well, he doesn't know it's not as good.
No, he doesn't know because that's what he knows.
Yeah, and it's
He's
good
getting
enough.
high from it. Yeah,
so
those endorphins.
They're all dropping out because the women... All day long, the men hear, oh, I don't need a guy. I don't need a man. I'm an independent woman. I'm a strong woman.
No, I do. I want to have
so many-
babies.
But we hear it all the time, and the men are like, how can I fit in her world?
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm here.
So for years, to get into the guy to get into the girl's world, we were essentially, to use a basketball metaphor, shooting into a 10-foot basket. Now we're shooting into a 12-foot basket because you don't need us as much. And so it's hard, and just the ability to make that connection face to face. We had a girl come to our show in Chicago, and she shared an Uber pool with a guy. Do you have Uber pool here?
We do.
She could not wait to get out of the car to find the guy online so she could say hello. Rather than turn her head right, that seemed so forward.
Oh my
that she
word.
needed to go find him and say, hey, I sat next to you for 20 minutes and that's where we are now.
Well, I gotta say, I do need men. I would like to have someone that knows where to put the wiper fluid in my car because...
Then just put that on your profile.
Okay.
That's a good
Because if you say, I need a guy who makes me laugh or something like that, he doesn't know if he can make you laugh.
It's legit in my car right now.
Say that. Say, if you do this, I will do this. And you'll get every guy. Like, show us how high we have to jump.
If you put wiper fluid in my car, I will bake you cookies.
There you go.
Okay, that's a start.
Yeah.
He'll go for that.
Okay.
So, Brian, what are some mistakes that we're making, like us men?
Like both men and women?
And
or just
women.
men?
Well, the men are really... people ask me all the time, like, what did you learn that you were surprised at more than anything?
Yeah, that was one of my questions.
And I had no idea how afraid and or angry so many guys were. And a lot of them are carrying it around from when they were like 15 years old and some girl just didn't listen to them or ignored them.
Interesting.
And they're carrying that around, and I underestimated that. And so how hard it is for a guy to even approach a girl, or how terrified he is of that rejection. We did shows, we do a lot of shows in Seattle, and we do them literally like across the street from the Microsoft headquarters in Bellevue. And so you get all these like tech nerds come to the show, and the guys will say stuff like, well, if I go up to her and she rejects me, everybody's going to see that and laugh at me. And I'm like, no, nobody notices you. Nobody's even paying any attention to you. Where does that come from?
Yeah.
It comes from high school where that did happen, where people did laugh at you for being rejected, and they never quite get over that. And it's almost like this weird self-absorbed thing where you're like, people are seeing what I do, and so they're paralyzed to approach anybody because they think the room is watching. So it's both wildly insecure and wildly sort of narcissistic.
Yeah.
It's really strange.
Yeah, because you kind of like, because that's very like teenager-ish. Like, in teenage world, it is very much like everyone's looking at me, the spotlight's on me, I have to make sure I'm perfect.
Yeah. And in like, if you go up to somebody, at the bank or just in the street, nobody gives a shit about anything.
No.
So just do it. But they're really terrified of rejection, and most of the time you get rejected, it has nothing to do with you. She could just be in a bad mood or in a hurry or anything.
Though. Like, rejection sucks. Like, I got rejected a few weeks ago, and
What did you do?
I asked someone out.
You don't do that.
I know who this is.
Don't do that.
No, you don't.
Oh, I don't. Okay.
You don't know.
Did you let him know that he could ask you out, or did you just flat out ask him out?
I just flat out asked
Yeah,
him
don't
out.
do that.
Okay.
It's weird. The guy should ask the girl out.
Well, that's what my sister said.
Yeah.
But then
You
my
gotta
other
let him know
friend
that he could ask you
talked
out.
me into it.
Yeah, my boner goes down if someone asks me out.
Okay.
It tips the weird
Right, but
balance
it was
of
like
power.
this whole like, be assertive, like be in power, and I was like,
You're already
no.
assertive. You're too be a girl. Be the girl.
I like
And a lot of
being a
women
girl.
get mad when I say that. They're like, I shouldn't have to pretend. I go, you're not pretending.
No, I am totally a girl.
We
if
did
there's a spider in my room, I'm gonna hairspray it
Yeah.
because I don't know what else to do with it.
We did a show in San Antonio, sort of in Texas. Actually is in
It is
Texas.
It is middle of
And after the show, this woman is talking to me, and she's like, I just don't need these guys. I make a lot of money. I run my company, and they're just not capable. I don't know what I'm going to do with them. And so I'm talking to her for like 15 minutes, and she goes, excuse me, I got to step outside. I got to smoke. And I go, oh, you smoke? And she goes, yeah, is that a problem? I go, no. Can I get you a cigarette? She goes, no, I have a cigarette. I go, can I find you a match? She goes, no, I have a match. I go, if you just say yes, the guy would kill somebody to get you the cigarette or the match. And she goes, I shouldn't have to lie. You're not lying. You're just letting him do something to make him feel like Superman.
Right.
She should have just said, like, sure, will you get me a match?
Yeah.
And she's like, I shouldn't have to play these games. Well, good luck.
Was she like super hot?
No, she wasn't even hot. Like, she just had such an attitude. And I'm like, let us be the boy once in a while, even if it's, to make us feel like more secure. She's like, I shouldn't have to do that.
No,
and I'm like, you do have to do that.
Yes, you do.
We've all changed a little bit. We both have to make some concessions in, I say the line, a lot of people get mad when I say it in certain cities. I go, after 6 o'clock, turn back into a girl.
Yes.
And they get really mad.
But it's true. So for me, I'm a big believer in the fact that the man needs to be needed and wanted. So I'm a big I feel like my dad is one of those people where we can ask my dad for something, he won't do it, my dad won't do it, and then finally Daddy, I need this, and he's like, all right, let me rescue you. And so that's always the pattern that I have had, and so I feel like that's the pattern that I need to give too. It's I for me, and I don't know if it's maybe cultural, but I feel like the man always needs to be needed, and I feel like
we do, and all we hear all day long
is I don't need you, and I don't think that's fair.
I don't need you. I'm an independent woman. I'm a strong, successful woman. I get it.
Okay,
I get
am,
it.
but guess
You don't
what?
even
I
need us for the babies anymore.
I do.
I know you do, but there's not enough like you to go around.
I'm a freaking magical unicorn. Why isn't anyone hitting on this yet?
Give it some time.
Okay.
Yeah, the day's not over.
So, Brian, I have a really important question for you.
Uh-oh.
They're all important questions.
Dudes around my age, around early mid-30s, we're dating. We're going on dates. And there's this thing, you know about this, FOMO.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And we're always chasing the next hottest lady.
Mm-hmm.
When do we end the party?
It'll end. You won't care anymore. Trust me, in your age, I was a director in Hollywood.
Yeah.
I had the party. Eventually, though, you wake up one day and you don't have that anymore. Either it's the right moment or the right girl or the right situation or relationship, and you're like, I don't care about anything but her, and then it just is done. So that ride will stop on its own. You don't need to do anything to force that. It will just go away.
So just ride it for now.
Yeah, so to speak. And it is tough for these girls that I meet. How old are you, Emma? Can I ask that?
Yes, I am 31.
And how old are these guys you're dating?
32, 33.
Yeah, that's a very small range.
Well, I'm trying to think
What's your
of, the last
settings?
guy.
What's your settings
I
on your
have it,
Bumble?
I think so. It has to be older than my sister. So she's 30 to 40.
Okay, that's fair. The problem is, though, the guy who's 35,
Yep.
he can get anything from 21 to 48.
True.
He
That's
has
my range.
such a pool to choose from that it's hard to get that guy to, and it's nothing personal. It's like those are the guys that you want. You have to sort of wait for him to sort of come out of that. And so the women are like, oh, I don't want to date a guy who's 44. And I'm like, that's the pool.
I'm not I'm okay dating. So my rule is I don't want to date anyone that's younger than my sister, and so we're 18 months apart.
Yeah, don't go young.
I don't, but I also don't want to date anyone that's older than my parents, and they're in their 60s.
Yeah, that's probably not good either.
I would also like to have babies.
Would you date a guy who had a kid?
That's a no.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure. That's not for everybody. Would you date a guy who's divorced?
Yeah, I would.
Okay.
I would.
Okay.
Okay.
Because he better marry me, and that better be the
Do you have a
last
height?
marriage.
Do you have a height requirement?
Taller than me, but that's not hard to find.
No, that's good.
That's everybody.
That's good. A lot of women have that. weird shit.
No, I don't care. Like, well, I mean, I would date someone that was like Shaquille O'Neal's height, but like that's very rare. So, you know, as long as it's like
Dirk
just
Nowitzki's
taller
single.
than me.
No, I
He's
think
7 feet tall.
he's a tall man.
Yeah.
That's like 3 feet higher than me.
Yeah.
It's like 2 of you.
a lot of women will so narrow what they're looking for. Like they'll put so many check boxes that because then they'll think it's not me. I just haven't found that person yet. And what they're really doing is eliminating all possibilities so they don't get hurt.
So I might get a little emotional about this. You're gonna love this, but I'm gonna hate this. But okay, so like our last episode was about like things that people shouldn't say, and that's something that I get all the time is that I'm too damn picky, and I'm like, I don't think that
We're
I
all
am.
too picky. We're all too picky.
Okay.
Because, you know, I say this show too. The thing that everybody, if I had one piece of dating advice to give everybody, it's get rid of the words "not my type." Because if you're over 30 and you're still single, you have no type. Your type's not working out for you. And if you're under 30, you have no idea what your type is. So what you want probably is something that you have not even considered or thought of.
I haven't not dated, and so I love reality TV show. I love it so much. It's like my jam. Because after a long day of doing what I do, I need something that I can not think. And so, you know, I've been obsessed with Made in Mexico. And right now, like, I'm in love, not really though, with like one of the guys on there who's like completely like Hispanic and like, well, like Mexican and, you know, like speaks Spanish and is very like cultural. And I'm like, ooh, maybe that's what I want.
But you're Hispanic.
Yeah, I know. But I'm like, I'm Salvadorian, so there's a difference.
I used to date a Salvadorian. She was a hot tamale. A crazy person. Oh my God.
They are spicy for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
I'm not gonna say if I'm crazy.
But you should date everything. You should date the tall guy, short guy, Jewish guy, black guy. Go through all of it and see what you like, because you don't know what you like.
But a lot of people can't take that advice.
I know they can, and then they wake up alone at 46 and they don't know what happened. Like it certainly doesn't hurt you to sit across from and have ice cream with somebody who you think is not your type. You'll learn so much more about yourself than you ever will about them. So everybody should do that.
So I have one last thing for Brian. So you talk a lot about confidence.
Yeah.
Like as a man, how do we build that confidence? I mean, it's rough.
I always say the way to build the confidence is to figure out what your greatest weakness is or your biggest vulnerability is, and then own it and be very open about it.
Beautiful.
Hiding this sort of I'm confident, this sort of fake bravado, that sort of douchey thing, that's not good. The women are surprisingly on board with vulnerability. I'm this, I'm working on this. They want to know that you know it and are working on it, that you are flawed. Because if they can see it, even if you point it out to them, like I am this, they are not afraid of what they can see. They're afraid of what they don't know. So they all know. Even the confident guys, they're like, what is wrong or what's broken or whatever. So being open about whatever it is that you need to do better, that comes off well confident, right?
So yes, because I mean, for me, it would make me feel like, oh, maybe this person's, because I'm a therapist, this person's going to therapy. They are very aware of what they need to be working on, which, you know, brings me a little bit of confidence.
I'm much better since I started going to therapy.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised at how many women thought that was good. Yeah. Therapy's good.
You need to just
it's not even like a weird it's not even like a weird
Brian.
California thing. It's like fairly normal. Like doing the work is very confident.
Yeah.
So we all need to do it. So that's the thing that everybody can sort of own that comes off as very confident.
Yeah. Especially when you hang out with a bunch of therapists and you say that.
Yeah. The therapists are really fucked up too. So they know that.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
I won't deny that.
And I bring that up on first dates too, about how I go to therapy myself.
That's good.
So, and a lot of women are okay with that.
The ones that are okay are the ones you want.
Yeah.
You can't date somebody who's not okay. If it's part of your life and they're not okay with it, then that's not the one for you. You know? I don't want the one who doesn't eat a cake pop.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, eat a freaking cake pop. They're delicious. I mean, I wish they were bigger.
They're a little piece of heaven on a stick.
Yes, they're too little sometimes.
Yeah, but you get two for like $1.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Thank you,
good.
Starbucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, your show.
Yeah.
What can we expect tomorrow? Because we're going.
We're going.
We're good.
Yeah.
Every show's different. Every crowd's different. Every city's different. we try and figure out what we're dealing with in the audience on any given night. Sometimes it's half divorced people. Sometimes it's people in their 20s. Sometimes it's, I mean, it could be anything. And then we slowly break down what is the crux of the disconnect with this theater, room, whatever, in this city, and what can we do better right now to sort of change. And it goes in all sorts of directions. It's really funny. It's really interactive. It's very participatory. So the people who go and they think they can hide in the back, I will call on them in 2 fucking seconds.
Yeah, and you're out there with a mic, right?
Oh
yeah, I am
tomorrow,
literally.
I'm gonna be so sad.
I am whacking these people in the head like a piñata to figure out why they're either single again, or the people who are in relationships. A lot of people should be single. Some married people come to these shows looking for a third.
Ooh.
Especially in Austin. Austin is very polyamory.
There was someone on Hinge that was a couple, and they matched, like they liked me, and then I was like, no, thank you.
Yeah, they get their freak on.
They do.
Yeah. You know, we make them laugh, but we make everybody think, and we make everybody share, and we make everybody learn. But, you know, we're selling hope here, essentially.
Okay, so hopeful crying.
It's hopeful. Like, you'll walk out of there, because then everybody goes to an after party right next door. And
where are we going? Where are we going?
It's right. What's that Irish bar called?
Oh, yes, that's my favorite.
It's not
Irish
Tilted
bar.
Kills or Twin Peaks. It's the other one. Tammany Hall. Or
No. Trinity Hall.
Trinity Hall.
Trinity Hall. Because that's where I go. That's where all the firemen go after St. Patrick's Day. And that's where I am. Like, trying to hit on everybody.
We go to Trinity Hall, and that's where all the deals get done. Because people are like, I like what you said, or I heard what you said, or whatever. Like they all watch each other for an hour and a half, and there's a lot of people. So men and women absolutely meet, hook up, have dates, find confidence, use things, all that stuff.
Do you tell them to go, hey, we're all going to Trinity Hall after? Nice.
I even say, if you're talking to me, you're doing something wrong, because I got nothing else to say. Talk to each other. I'm like, guys, buy the ladies a drink, go. And then that's how I tell how good the show went, by what percentage are still there 2 hours later.
Huh. What if I gotta work and I gotta wake up at like 6 o'clock
call
in
in
the
sick
morning?
tomorrow or whatever.
Can't.
Everybody does. So what?
Fine, I will I'll go without makeup.
This could be
to work.
50 for Brian.
So
Number
what?
50 as far as
Fine,
Yeah,
I'll go
49.
without makeup. I'll
Makeup. No, go. Yeah, go. You don't have to go for 2 hours, but you could certainly go for 45 minutes.
Oh, I'm gonna go.
You go long enough for a guy to get your number.
Yeah, Master Brian Howie. That will be my goal for tomorrow.
Do you can you be asked out by text?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I'm fine with that too.
Yeah.
Certain women are like, he needs to call me because I need to see. And I go, we don't call each other enough now. It's weird.
Phone calls because
we're not that good on the phone anymore as people.
No.
It's sort of like handwriting is bad because we don't do it. So
Oh,
making
I have
somebody
really good
call when they haven't been on the phone in 12 days is weird.
It is.
It's like a weird. I'm like, oh, phone call? Like, I don't want to talk to anybody on the phone.
But whenever I have a date or I'm about to have a date, I have a phone call first.
You should.
Because I want to hear their voice and I want to hear my voice.
You should. I personally dread any call for anything. I don't even like doing like podcasts or radio interviews via phone. I like to see the people. Like I like to be in the room.
Oh yeah.
My own podcast, I don't allow any phone-ins.
Oh really?
Which is weird. None. Unless it's like a giant celeb of some kind. We've done it like twice. I need to see people.
We do FaceTime if anything.
Yeah. We do FaceTime.
I'm not, because there's this awkward, like, you can't get in the rhythm if you do it. Yeah, FaceTime's dual. I mean, I got to get over that. That's my own thing. But I either want in person or text.
Yeah. We have so many questions for Brian.
I mean, I could talk to him the rest of my life.
One question about your podcast. Who is I think this was your question, Emma. Who is his favorite guest ever on your podcast?
Becca Tobin from Glee.
Okay.
She's my favorite. And she does a big podcast, The Lady Gang.
Yeah.
Becca's awesome. She will say anything. She will own anything. She has, she's the best. Becca's the best. Oh, we had Jillian Michaels on there a couple weeks ago. Did you listen to that?
No, I haven't listened to that one yet.
You know who Jillian Michaels is?
Oh, the trainer, right?
Yeah, and I said the word Cinnabon. She wanted to like take a pen and like stick it in my jugular. Like
Why?
she was so offended. Like even that word to her was so.
They're delicious.
I know. Don't say that to her. Like she can't even. That's not even food to her.
Well, I've worked with eating disorders, so I come from a world where everything in moderation.
She's fun. Dr. Drew's always fun.
I like
People who are willing to sort of be curious about the subject matter and willing to go there and willing to open up. But we've had some guests that like, I don't even know who they were, and they get booked on it, and I'm like, that person was great. They're awesome,
Nice.
Awesome.
And are they all single people or no?
Anything.
It just runs a gamut.
We married people. It's love, sex, dating, relationships, everything. And everybody's got some. Love is the only thing that everybody either has an opinion on, experience with, pain from, that like you can share. Like you could literally grab any 6 people, sit them down, and have a conversation about it. Or food. I do a food podcast too.
What is that food?
The Great Food Feud.
Nice. What's your favorite kind of food?
Barbecue, which is why I come to Texas a lot. But then you could argue, like, do you like Texas, Kansas City, North Carolina? Like, it's very particularly regional too. I'm down here because it's very sort of brisket centered here.
I love brisket.
And it's awesome here, but we go to Memphis and it's different. And but
so do you?
We did one on cheese the other day.
I love cheese.
And what's your favorite cheese?
I like a good brie and a good manchego.
That's what I said. I said that there's nothing made with Swiss that wouldn't be better with something else. Mm-hmm. And the Swiss people got so mad. I said, I think Swiss just has a good publicist.
Yeah.
Like if you watched Family Feud and they said, like, name a cheese, somebody's going to say Swiss.
Yeah.
We don't need Swiss.
Right.
You could put anything better than Swiss, but for some reason Swiss has a lot of PR. So we argued about that.
So who's on the podcast? Is it you? And
I guess I might have a chef. I might have a foodie. I might have a regular person. We could sit and talk tacos for 3 hours.
Oh my gosh.
Who makes the best this or whatever. Like everybody thinks they know the best way to eat it. No. They know the best way to do it. We had one girl on there who, since she was 7 years old, she has only eaten pizza. Nothing else.
What?
Only pizza. And she's in really good shape.
Wow.
Yeah. Only. Yeah. And the way she like went on dates and they would be like, do you want to have some steak? And she'd be like, I just had steak for lunch. Let's get the pizza. And the way she had like maneuver so nobody would thought she was a crazy person, that she only eats pizza. Huh. And she has a boyfriend now, and I go, is he resigned to the fact that you will only eat pizza, or does he wake up every day and hope like today's the day? She goes, he wakes up every day and he hopes today's the day.
And that's a great marriage, because food and dating.
Yeah,
right?
Our food thing fell out of like the condiment question.
Yeah.
You could argue about like what you put on stuff or whatever. It came out of that. We have, I always say our podcast, when it's done right, should sound like a dinner party, which is sort of food based, and the conversations sort of sound the same. So I got into the food thing, but Great Love Debate still pays the bills.
Anything else in the works besides the food podcast?
Well, we're continuing to figure out more. We've done 300 and something live shows, and we've gone around the world. We're trying to figure out new ways and new mediums and new ways to sort of have these conversations that I like to have, because there's sort of a million ways to slice this apple, and things keep changing, and it's like a puzzle that we'll never totally solve, but it's like Rubik's Cube.
Yeah, you guys have a ton of content, like 140,
170 podcasts and almost 400 live shows and all that. So we're working on a television show and all that kind of stuff. So
television show. Where's that when's that gonna happen?
Oh.
To be announced in the spring.
TBD.
Yeah. So Bravo shot our show, one of our shows for Summer House. Do you watch Summer House on Bravo? Mm-hmm. You need to watch Summer House on Bravo, because one of our whole episodes is the Great Love Debate.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. Which one? Which episode? The whole thing, or is
the whole one of the episodes of the new season of Summer House?
Okay, we're gonna watch
Great Love Debate.
Sure.
So, so we're sort of winding down our USA tour. Like, this is our last show in Dallas tomorrow, so you better round up your peeps.
Because isn't this like your last US tour? Isn't that
it's 5 years. Like, I need to get off the ride for a little while at least. We'll do special shows here and there, but like I don't need to go to Atlanta again.
Right.
Like, I've been there 15 times.
So I went live, and I was listening to you, and you were like, "Yeah, this is gonna be like the last U.S. tour for a while, and so we're not gonna be on tour anymore. So you need to go get tickets." And I got anxiety just thinking about, oh my gosh, I'm never gonna see him in a live show.
Exactly. That's the way people should look at it. You need to take advantage. I always say, opportunities. Trust me, I wrote the book, How to Find Love in 60 Seconds. It's not about a quickie in a bathroom. That is about recognizing an opportunity, acting on it, and not killing it. So recognize the opportunity. We're here.
Yep.
As we record this tomorrow night.
Yep.
Recognize the opportunity and act on it. Every single person in Dallas should be there.
Yeah, everyone, you should be there.
Every single person in our groups.
I am. I'm gonna text everybody. I'm gonna be like, "Are y'all going? Are y'all going?
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
It's other than that, it's really funny.
You
like,
are
there's
hilarious.
no getting around it. Like, these shows are crazy funny. So at the least you're gonna laugh. You might love. You might laugh.
I might cry.
Oh.
Yeah, some people cry.
You might get a dick pic.
Some people cry. We've had more guys cry at the show than women.
Good.
Yeah, get some emotion.
Good.
People cry.
I love emotion.
You'll
I
laugh,
love
you'll
crying.
cry, you might get laid. Who knows?
You might have to do a role-playing scene.
Yeah, we might yank you on the stage and make you figure out why
if you
you're...
make me do some like weird improv
Yeah,
thing, I'm gonna,
yeah.
die.
Life is improv. Dating is weird improv.
No, your last podcast, I'm not like I heard this and I was like, oh my gosh. You said like dates should be like an improv classes or something because dating is all improv, and like I died listening to that. I was like, oh my gosh.
Be a tree. That would be fun on a date.
Yeah, you'll get
tree.
You'll get nothing after that.
Yeah, just be a tree.
Okay. It's like, is that like a
Pretend,
yoga pose?
No, just a tree.
Yoga pose,
what if you were a tree? What kind of tree would you be?
A magnolia.
Okay,
tree.
let's see that. Let's see what you would look like as a magnolia tree. Yeah, see how easy this is, and then we're off, and then it's fun. There you go. That was a strange looking magnolia tree.
2 branches.
See, we don't even have magnolia trees in Los Angeles. I don't even know. I don't know. You have them here.
Yeah, we do. They're my favorite tree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you didn't know people could have favorite trees either.
Yeah, palm tree. I really like fucking palm trees.
That's a good question. Like, what's your
favorite tree?
What's your favorite tree?
Yeah.
I wouldn't know. Like, if I showed you 6 trees, could you tell me what they are? How many people know trees?
Like,
magnolia, oak, pine.
Would you know an oak tree if you saw it?
No.
No. Yeah. Pine. we would know a Christmas tree.
I know what a magnolia. Look, there's one outside his window. That's a magnolia tree.
I'm staying in the Magnolia Hotel, so I imagine there's
Perfect.
magnolias.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fake magnolias, probably. Beautiful fake ones. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my
Is
gosh.
that all
Emma.
we have?
No, but next time, I mean, we have so many questions for Brian.
I feel like Master Brian Howie has taught me so much.
I've learned so much.
We'll see.
today.
We'll see how you do tomorrow.
We'll see how I do tomorrow.
So we're going to the show tomorrow,
Yes.
and you can find the show information at thegreatlovedebate.com.
Just great love
Great
debate.
Love Debate.
No the.
Okay.
Great love debate.
Yeah. GreatLoveDebate.com. The podcast is The Great Love Debate with Brian Howie. We're the world's #1 dating relationship podcast.
Number one.
So all the good information is there.
Yeah.
The show is at Hyenas Comedy Club, right down the street from here.
Literally, like
Literally, so you can roll home.
I'm gonna just scooter.
Do you take that train thing?
No.
Goes right to your house and right there.
I know.
She's bougie. She takes like an Uber XL to every place. So
You know how I be.
I take that train thing.
I take public transportation in Europe.
Yeah, there's a lot of people like that. Like, we have it. I take public transportation sometimes in Los Angeles.
Actually, when I move back to
From New
Irving,
York.
I will be taking it to Dallas. When I live in Irving, I'll do it. But if I'm in Dallas, I won't do it.
Irving?
Yeah.
Why do you want to live in Irving?
it's so far away.
It's so far.
Don't make me cry.
It's far.
It is.
There's a train, though.
There is a train.
Yeah.
All right, so I think that's it.
That's all we have.
Oh my gosh, Brian, thanks for coming.
That's fun.
Yes. Thank
Yeah.
you so much. You
Okay.
just made my little fangirl dreams come true.
Done.
You made a wish. Okay, so that's all we have for today. You can find us on if you have any email or if you have any questions, you can email us at hello@datepodcast.com. You can find us at datepodcast.com, our website.
On Instagram and Twitter.
And on Instagram and Twitter. On Instagram and
Yeah.
Twitter as well. And check out Brian. If not his show, then his podcast.
Yep.
So, all right, that's it.
Okay.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.